of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of
Sometimes my mama said, you know, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one? Okay, Lamont, go ahead.
Rudy Giuliani practices voodoo. So he put a voodoo hex on my girl, Hillary, and that's why she got woozy. And the Secret Service had to prop her up and put her in the van.
Take us to a break, my dude.
It was voodoo, son.
I don't know about that voodoo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic.
I see you. You see me. That's 1 plus 1 is 2.
Wait. Let me get this together. Wait a minute.
But I see 2. We're supposed to be 3.
Wait a minute.
What's up, Carsong?
Since we don't have... Okay, this isn't working right. Okay, all right. So do we have 3 or do we have 2?
We got 2.
What, are we supposed to have 3?
We supposed to. I think we're going to dock somebody's check.
Well, I think the issue is, last I heard he was on a private jet, so I don't know if the private jet traffic got held up, you know what I mean, or what's going on, but we don't have 3.
We don't have 3, but that's okay. We're going to
Sure?
What we going to do? We got people out here who want to hear what at least 2 of us want to say. I know I want to hear what you want to say.
You sure?
I'm listening.
Wait. I'm trying to do the share thing. Come on, you know this takes a couple of minutes. This is the part where Spud is supposed to do all the talking and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just not, you know what I mean? It's not working right for me.
Okay. Let me see if I can try to do that imitation. All right. Good people. Welcome to Three Black Guys with a Mic. We so happy to have y'all. It's my man Lamont G. Hayes in the building. I am Maynard Scales, your suburban black, and we are waiting for Hype Voice CEO and creative director Charles Spud Spence, who would be mad as hell knowing that I use his full government on the show. But we are going to troop on, and if he gets a chance, I know he's, as Lamont said, he's on the jet. He's working on some projects. If he doesn't get into us tonight, then we'll have a short show, but we'll have a show. We're going to try to get into the topics. So please, before we get too far into this, we're going to ask y'all to chime in. Let us know what y'all want to hear this evening. Let us know that you're listening. Let us know that you are either on Facebook or YouTube, that you are subscribing to the show. You pushing the like button. You pushing the subscribe button, whatever it may be. We'll be looking for your chat. And there are some of you who very well may be on Needle tonight, listening to us there. So we love your comments, and we're going to get into the show in just a moment. We call this one the Bipartisan edition, and it seems like it may turn out that way because Lamont is a crazy MAGA person, and you're not on the MAGA train, Lamont?
Well, first of all, I'm just trying to get all my posts and retweets and all that stuff. I don't look fuzzy. You see, this is the die. That's the pivot, right? I mean, you know what, Maynard? Since I don't have Spud to, get into the foolishness, and this is probably going to be super serious. I mean, in reality, man, everything what he was saying wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? And when I say him, I'm talking about the orange juice man, the orange man, the toupee man, the Westminster man, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't wrong about everything. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And that's all I'm going to say.
No. But there are some key things that he was certainly wrong about.
Absolutely. But you know what? Uncle Sleepy Joe was over there chilling with the G7. He's kind of made some flubs. Not as bad. Again, he's more polished. But, you can just tell, again, Joe's winding down, bro. And winding down in life.
Well, so here's the thing, though. Flubs is in, like, maybe he's stuttering. Well, he's always had a stuttering problem all his life. Oh, look at who it is! Ladies and gentlemen!
Oh, my goodness!
All the way live with the iPhone out at the restaurant with the lamb chops and the crab legs. Spending stimmy money.
I totally apologize. I looked at the thing, I got the notification, and I was like,
I was like, why do you have the notification going on? It's like 4 o'clock. And then I was like, oh shoot, I'm on West Coast time. So my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like at a restaurant. I totally forgot.
It's all good.
Don't beat me up,
Well,
I just wanted to
but here's the question: was the private jet, was it late or was it on time? Because that's the excuse I gave.
I'm getting the same excuse you gave. It was late.
Yo, what you eating on, homie?
Then we're at the restaurant. We got some, white beef, brewski. We are like on the strip. And it's the Knights game tonight. There's a bunch of people out here. COVID is over, y'all.
Oh, it's over?
It's over. It's done.
COVID is a wrap.
Only me and my wife got a mask on. Nobody else in the world got a mask on.
You can call me what you want. My flight is at 6 a.m. and I will have on a mask.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, let me ask this question. It's a two-parter. Let me ask the first part. Is TikTok winning the culture?
What's the second part?
Yes. What's the second part?
Are strippers and stripper culture winning TikTok?
So here's my question to you then, Maynard. Because that was a great pivot, how you didn't want to let me finish about my MAGA position. But we'll go to TikTok and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Yes, they're winning. But there's several versions of TikTok, Maynard. So the fact that you're on the stripper version of TikTok, it tells me a lot.
What, there's another version of TikTok?
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say version, but there's several subcultures of TikTok. And obviously, you're on the stripper subculture.
The one that, because every song that comes out, there's a dance, and these females are always scantily dressed, and they gotta shake that thing. And what I will,
I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta go. I'm on my wife's phone. It's about to die. I can't hear. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. I should be in the room doing this, but my phone is gonna die, y'all.
It's already there. So we'll soldier on. But so listen, just make sure you get the crab leg and enjoy yourself.
I'm gonna try to do my best to, enjoy my life. I mean, I've had a rough couple of weeks. Shout out to everybody who was on with us. I'm so sorry I can't join these two gentlemen, in tonight's episode. But it's just like way too loud, and I got like 1% left, and I know it's gonna die. I totally forgot, But I'm gonna have a little drink for everybody.
It's all good, man. Enjoy yourself.
It's all good.
All right, man. I'll holler at y'all.
All right. Okay.
So, man, let's back to the TikTok though, because again, the TikTok that I'm on, and I get the dancing part, but I'll be honest with you, I've learned more about trucking. I've learned more about farming. I've learned more about even Black history by some of the people that I follow. Now, I'm not gonna say that I don't follow some of the shake your booty down. Yeah. But I've learned that TikTok is much more than that. You know what I mean? It's much more than a dance. But you have to follow the right people in order to get into those, for your For You page to start popping like that.
Well, I actually don't follow anybody. So I'm not, and I've been using TikTok for, 8 months, whatever. I don't know, 9 months, a year. I never followed anybody. And so, whatever comes up, it just comes up. And all of the things that keep coming up are, bum, 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 bum.
Well, again, here's what some creators are saying is that some things are pushed, like you said, because obviously, since you don't follow anyone, those are the people that are on your For You page, which allegedly the algorithm is saying that that's what you want to see. So, what I would suggest, there's a couple of people, like I think it's a guy named I Speak 1906, who's actually a Navy, I think we can call him a veteran, because he did do several tours, but he's currently serving. but he's really big in the historical black space, and he has like a little crew of people. And I've seen like it really get kind of hectic with him and a lot of other different creators on there that are in that space. Again, there's this young black kid who's actually a farmer of potatoes in Florida. He takes you out with him on the farm, and I saw him where he used this big thing, whatever you call it, and they're harvesting the potatoes, and he talks about how he takes it to market. And I mean, it's just so, again, and for me too, the truckers are so interesting to me because they tell you, it was so many things I didn't know about trucking, about how a truck could take a load of lettuce to Walmart, and if Walmart don't like the way it look, won't accept it. And the trucker's stuck on the freeway with a whole bunch of lettuce. I mean, it's just a lot of those stories that I'm learning so much about, different industries. That's why I think it's definitely a pretty cool app. And again, the Shake Your Booty, it works. I get it. I understand it. So just follow some people, man. I'll send you a few people to follow. We'll get your palate kind of wet a little bit and get you going.
Okay, that's possible. I see you, Tiffany Harris, NSU alum. You don't get no dance videos. I don't know how that happens. That's all they seem to send me. But then I always get a bunch of Karen videos. I love the Karen videos. That's always great because there's somebody, we exposing somebody on, whatever. A couple of cop videos, cops pulling up on somebody or whatever. But, that's TikTok. That was just kind of like the opening salvo. I know one of the things that you must be excited about, that in about 20 minutes, the Atlanta Hawks will host the Philadelphia 76ers as the Sixers are looking to go up 3-1 tonight. I know that you're excited about that, being an NBA fan and a Sixer fan yourself. You living in Jersey now. Jersey doesn't have a team, so you have to decide. There are two choices in New York. You can't be a Knicks fan and a Nets fan. So you probably, just go to Philadelphia and be, a Sixer fan. Is that accurate?
No, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Literally a buck.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want the Bucks to do what they got to do. You know what I mean?
I want to see the Bucks do that too. The Bucks are putting it on the Nets.
So right now, it's supposed to be coming out of the West. No matter how this shakes out when it's all said and done, because that's just the way the NBA works. I have honestly been keeping up more with basketball lately than I normally do. So, Philly, I get it. Ishkabibbles, that's all I can say about Philly. I can't talk about their sports teams. I mean, I'm from Detroit. What do you mean? Like, Eagles, Flyers, or Sixers? Nah, I'll pass.
Philadelphia Soul?
I'll pass.
But listen, now, but you mentioned something. You said it's supposed to be coming out of the West. I'm looking for what's supposed to be coming out of the West.
I mean, I'm just saying normally the West is run and gun. West is like, I'm coming to see you. West is like, I might be sloppy right now, but when it's all said and done, we get to the end, I got something for you.
I will say Phoenix is looking strong. Chris Paul's out here doing outrageousness. But, I mean, the thing that I think when people were talking about the West, most often what they were talking about were three teams. The Lakers, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. Oh, and Utah Jazz is the Utah Jazz. They balling. But Phoenix is looking like a strong jump off coming out the West. So I think really the Nets, Bucks, and the Sixers, I think, can handle whatever the West is bringing. No, so I look, the Clippers last leg. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. The Lakers already been, sent home for the summer. LeBron is already on the Space Jam 2 tour. He's out here.
Chill, my man. Chill.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and I get it, but just chill. I mean, let's not get into the anti-LeBron conversation because
I love LeBron James.
As I said, off the court, he's the most amazing basketball player that's ever played the game.
I love LeBron James, but when they lost, when they went down and they got exited out of the playoffs, they were like, LeBron, so what's the deal? What about this game y'all lost? How's it feel not to move forward and be exited in the first round of the playoffs? Space Jam 2 is opening soon, and You know, this movie is a phenomenal movie. It's a family movie, and I just want everybody to go see it. And next year I'll do 40 million here in LA, and we'll be working on Space Jam 3. Thank you. But LeBron, the passing wasn't as crisp, and was Anthony Davis's injury really slowing down the team? Anthony Davis unfortunately does not appear in Space Jam 2, but maybe next year he'll be in Space Jam 3 or 4.
But I mean, as a former radio executive who understands the art of promotion, how can you hate on the promo game? You know what I'm saying? Let him live. Again, the kid from Akron did good. We gotta love him, and we'll just kind of keep it moving. So again, if the Bucks can just figure all of this out, that's what I want. You know what I mean? That would be great. That'd be great for the city, great for the state. I'm not all of the foolishness going on in Green Bay right now on the other side with the football. I mean, I think it'll be a good look. It'll be a good look for the M-Town.
Well, let me say this. I'm glad you brought up the foolishness in Green Bay. How the NBA, how the NFL and ESPN turned every morning in the ESPN on at what's his boy named Aaron Rodgers watch, I do not know.
Because what's the boy name with the afro? Kaepernick?
Yeah, right.
He's not Kaepernick, that's why.
Well, I'm saying Kaepernick, we talking about a guy who said he won't play for a team. And he refused to play for a team because they decided to hire somebody who could be his backup.
Yes.
And Colin Kaepernick.
And Kaepernick is out here still begging for a job.
Exactly. And then they turned around and gave Tim Tebow a job down in Jacksonville. And he ain't thrown a damn touchdown in years.
Okay, so what does that tell you? Should we stop begging for a job then and keep it moving? I said a long time ago, dude is better being a martyr, bro. Sometimes you're better being a professional widow or widower. You being the victim and being victimized sometimes will get you further than you trying to get a job to work for somebody else. Your days of football are over, my guy. They're done. See you later, big fella. And that's just what it is. And it's okay. He got enough money. He could do more good off the field than he could do on the field.
Okay. Let me, before we get too far, just remind everybody that Lamont is kind of a hater. And
Why? Why? Because he won't cut his hair?
What's wrong? Why do you got to cut his hair?
It just looks unkept, bro. It don't look neat. Kind of like Jay. Jay, my man. You know what I mean?
Whoa, you can't. Whoa. Slow down, my dude. The check game listen. Let me. Do you remember this?
Right, let me be quiet.
You remember the movie Money Train? And the man said, "Listen, don't nothing stop this money train from moving." Now you out here talking wild slick about Jay's hair. I'm just saying.
And again, wait, and this is personal. This is somebody who, for the majority of their life, has not had the luxury of having hair. So while people like you and Spud are running to the barber to get lined up, you know what I mean? I'm in the mirror trying to see if I got some growth, you know what I mean? So I see you brothers out here and the growth is heavy and y'all not keeping it up. I mean, I got an issue with that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let me explain something to you.
I'm just telling you.
A minute ago, you said that Colin's situation with playing football, like hang it up, it's over, it's not going to happen no more. Stop checking the mirror for hair growth.
Why? I mean, listen, man. Listen. There is. Listen. If we can put a man on the moon, if Elon Musk can get in a rocket, or Jeff Bezos, because he's leaving.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's gonna be a wrap in a second, because Bezos, like, I'm out of here. We got a test round coming. Listen, man. I can still hope for hair. I can at 50.
Okay. Lamar, I've known you 20 plus years. I don't know if I ever seen hair on your head. Other than a picture. You sent a picture one day, you were 15. I seen you with, but I think you were missing some right here at 15.
Yeah, it was the George Jefferson thingy.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
Jesus.
It was bad, my guy. And it's been downhill ever since, man. I've really been
that's one of the things I've been really trying to work on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel you. So let me ask you a couple quick questions, man. What's on your heart? You've been around the world. You had the Atlanta run. You had a West Coast run. Are you back in position, or are you still on the road?
No, actually, I'm here today, but we actually be heading out on Wednesday. And as we were just, had a couple conference calls. I mean, things are moving. You know what I mean? A lot of people are, out and about, like Spud said. He's out in Vegas now. And a lot of tours are going. A lot of people are traveling. It's hard to get a rental car out here in these streets. First class seats are through the roof. So, business is happening. But again, for me, I'm still a little, as I told somebody the other day, I'm like a new puppy. I got my shots and I'm moving around, but we still got to be cautious. And that's what I'm seeing not a lot of. I'm seeing a lot of people, like Spud said a minute ago, is they think that it's over. But, to me, that's the scary part because, they're talking about a new variant. History has taught us that these pandemics, they come in waves. And the reality is something else that I told somebody the other week is that some people are just nasty. You know what I mean? Some people don't wash their hands with or without pandemics. Some people will sneeze without covering their mouths. I mean, so I think, if anything, this taught us as we've hopefully lived through the worst of this pandemic is we just got to be more careful out here, man. You know what I mean? So, I have a different routine now when I check in a hotel. You know what I mean? I have a different routine when, I get on a plane, I get in the car. I mean, when you go places, we just got to be a little bit more on guard, bro, because, again, something else is coming. You know what I mean? And even listening, whether you CDC listener or not, something else is going to happen, man. I think we got to be vigilant. We got to be careful.
I agree. We got to remain vigilant because there is a possibility that more stuff is going to pop off. And not possibility. It's a relative likelihood that it's going. But here's some things that I think are critical. When we were at the scenario where like mask wearing was pretty much every day, all the time, what we were doing is giving the virus less places to attack, right? That's one. And then as we started to vaccinate, and there's still some people who are like myself. I'm typically a 90% mask on person at this point, right? I'll let my guard down here and there. And then obviously with people I know who are, vaccinated, or at least I know where they've been and where they haven't been. But when I'm out in public, I went to the store and, I was at Home Depot and I was picking up some mask on. Then I went out to the yard part of Home Depot where they got the trees and the shrubs and stuff, and it's open air. I was like, it's hot outside, took the mask off. But we are still doing the same thing. We are eliminating the number of places, or we're minimizing the number of places the virus can go to land and be, for it to multiply and grow. It ain't over. That's
a good thing, right?
That's an excellent thing. It ain't over. I don't want anyone to hear me say or repeat that I said that it's over. It's not over. We gotta do what we gotta do. And, I think people should at this point start to say, while it's only been a handful of months, you haven't heard that 4 million people have died from getting the shot, right? You ain't heard 4,000 people have died from getting the shot. You ain't heard that 400 people have died from getting the shot. And so the vaccines have a high level of safety, as well as a high level of they keep saying efficacy, which is its effectiveness. And we very well may be taking a shot again next year. We very well may be taking a shot again in 2 years or 3 years, or booster shots. That could be, but we can't. I can't continue to be masked up for another 5 years. That's just that's craziness to me.
But you know what though, and I think I said this before. That I was talking to one of my buddies. It's interesting even about the mask thing, because just as we do in America, we kind of always lag behind sometimes the rest of the world does. And like we said before, China been on the mask game even pre this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people always made fun. We always say of like Michael, and even Prince used to wear masks. Like a lot of people told me about when he would go to different venues and things of that nature. And I thought about A couple other artists that I would always see, and they have masks on. Dude from Mint Condition, Stokely, dude always had on a mask. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I never thought about it because after a while, you're just like, whatever. And then it was time for him to sing. Then after that, he put his mask back on and he's out of there. But so I say all that to say is that I think there's just a hygiene component. Not that it's necessarily going to 100% stop something, but it does slow down when it comes to, being able to take in and even possibly making other people sick. So like I told somebody who tried to argue with me about how the mask doesn't work, I was like, yo, dog, we on a respect level now. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to do it, some people don't. So I'm gonna respect those that don't, and I'm gonna put this mask on. I'm gonna get on this plane, and I'm gonna go get these peanuts.
It's definitely about respect. Like if you're in the space of other folks, you should mask up until they show you or you somehow feel more comfortable or they feel more comfortable. But if you walk into somebody's space and you don't at least try to like let me make sure my mask is on, you're just being disrespectful.
Right.
So let me jump into some entertainment news real quick, if you don't mind, my friend.
The gossip is trash. I mean, I need
you need
trash.
I don't write this. I'm not on trash yet. I want to do some high level, what I think is important stuff, and I think you'll like it.
All right. Okay.
John Legend and his man Mike Jackson, his partner in crime with his film company, announced today in Tribeca that they're going to do a Bernie Mac pick. They're going to do the Bernie Mac biopic. How you feel about that?
That's right. I forgot about Tribeca's going on right now. I saw ASAP. He was on the carpet. I think John Legend is trash. So
Jesus.
I'm not like a fan of dude. Me and my wife, she's a uber fan of Chrissy Teigen. I think that's her name, his wife.
Right. I'm not a fan of her.
Yeah, I just like their whole squad is just too much. But I will say this. I was watching a old Rick Ross video, and I forgot that he was on one of the Rick Ross records. I'm the Magnificent, and Johnny did the hook. So I was like, you know what? He's not 100% trash, but just like 98%. You know what I mean? He gets 2% for that Rick Ross record, but
he's like skim milk. He's like the skim milk of trash.
He's just trash, bro. Like it's
but he's still
so high.
But let's forget him. And his part, we talking about Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac's legendary.
Listen, man, whoever the producer of a project, their sauce is gonna be put on in some kind of way, their energy, their space, and it's gonna be skim milk trash with John Legend on it. I'm sorry. Next.
Wow. All right, the homie French Montana got robbed $340,000 worth of jewels.
Hey, man, these streets is hectic right now, man. And you know what? Why you mentioned that, because, this is pivot, but it's still on topic. Shout to the security guard down at Lenox, just got shot a couple hours ago down in Atlanta. We got to talk about Atlanta in a minute, but it's like this robbery game out here is serious right now, man. You know what I mean? Gunpoint, not gunpoint. I don't know, man. You just got to move a certain way. Fritchie should know better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but also, got the wolves around you. When they say the people around you are hungry, that's how it works.
Okay. Well, let's check in on one other thing real quick. On I think a smarter or at least a congratulatory tip. The homie Pharrell Williams.
Nope.
Oh, wait. We can't congratulate Pharrell. He's opening a school for poor children.
How many?
Poor children.
I didn't know that. I know it was 4. And you know what? He has the same wife. He's married to the same lady, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure I say this again so that we're good. He's opening a school here in Norfolk, Virginia for poor children starting this fall.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that memo. Only memo I got was the hotel in Miami. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be popping.
Okay.
No, I didn't know that. And is he originally from Norfolk or was it Newport?
He's from Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach.
It's the area. Yeah, Norfolk and Virginia Beach border and share a border. So, where the high school he went to is in Virginia Beach, which is Princess Anne, is probably 3-4 miles from the line between those two cities. So. But he's opened up a grammar school for poor children. He's been running a summer camp for the past handful of years called From One Hand to Another, where all the tuition or all the fees to go to that camp have been waived, and they do a lot of stuff. They do a maker series where they teach kids how to make or become engineers of whatever kinds of STEM projects that they're interested in, whether it's, how to maybe just how electricity works, or how to get in the studio and actually record a song. So shout out to Pharrell. That's real big. He's doing amazing things. He did, Something in the Water 2 years ago, before pandemic, the year before the pandemic. It got canceled, obviously, due to the pandemic. So Virginia Beach would love to get that money back. That was a big, big, big deal. The school will be called Yellow Hab. It's a concentration on STEAM, and it will have about 50 students to start. And any kid from the city of Norfolk can attend. It'll be free. It's going to be located in this place called Historic Ghent, which is kind of like the Shishi La La community of Norfolk. It's almost, I wouldn't put it quite as poppin' as Birmingham, Michigan, if you want to get an idea. There's not a 220. We used to have a 220 there. It was Bardot, a little sushi bar, was hot. But
Well, can we just talk about my beef with Pharrell?
He owe you money?
Nah, we supposed to got at least one more Clips album, bro.
It's not. I don't know if that's a Pharrell problem. I think
he could have put his foot down, man.
I think that's a Malice issue. I'm sorry, no Malice issue.
Right, that's he could have did a triple OG. I'm like, come on, guy. You know what I mean? But but again, good for him, because what that sounds like to me is something that we talked about before. It feels a little vocational like, where teaching young people different skills that they might not traditionally get in today's school that wants to, as one school, I forgot where it was in the state of New York, but they were talking about today about teaching kindergarten students about masturbation. And then
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. It was a big thing. It was a private school, from what I understand.
Kindergartners learning about masturbation?
Yeah. I think they were like first graders. I think one of the young people might have asked the teacher, and then the teacher went on and started having some conversation, and and then and I also learned this from TikTok. Then the governor down in Florida, along with several other governors across the country, are not doing the critical race theory, aka we not gonna tell about the black people. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's good that Pharrell is giving a different component to education, because I think that needs to be a wave. You know what I mean? Because the days of us sending young people to school thinking that they're going to learn, I don't know, certain basics. I mean, I don't have kids, but I don't know if I want my little person talking about masturbation in the first grade, Maynard. Is that like a no-go, or is that a go, or how does that work?
Masturbation in the first kindergarten, second, third grade? That's
work.
Yo, man.
Is that a go?
That's 100% pause right there. I'm not prepared for that one.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, though, I was fortunate enough to be home with my mother. We talked about that last week, and I was home in my neighborhood, obviously, with all the people I grew up with. We shared some time with a woman named Linda Marks. You don't know Linda Marks, but she was a camp counselor. She ran the rec center. It was her 70th birthday this past Wednesday, so salute to Linda. Her family put together a little surprise party. But where we're talking about education is concerned, what Linda used to have us do? This is what camp counselors do. We made the little box out of popsicle sticks, the glue and stuff. We made a little bank or a little ashtrays, because you go to the pottery place, or that was in the rec center. We made the little keychain out of what they call GIMP, the little stretchy nylon shoestring stuff. And the thing about it is a handful of things. It was educational. Did I really go around making boxes out of popsicle sticks? No. But somebody became an engineer because of that, or somebody understands spatial, whatever you call that thing, as a result. And it also dawned on me, like making the little keychains or making the little whatever it is. Somebody's parents Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, birthday, got that as a gift from their kid when their kid couldn't afford to do anything else. And that might be one of the most important gifts that parent got. So we have to have people in our lives that teach us things that aren't always, arithmetics and ABC. College is not the goal for everyone. And it may not be the goal for, even the majority of people. But education is. And I think people get caught up. Education, college, they think they're the same thing. You talk about your man, the plumber dude. What's your man, Jerry?
Yep. How you know about Jerry?
You talk about Jerry all the time.
Jerry's that guy. Jerry old school. He been plumbing for 40 years, getting cake. You know what I'm saying?
And that's cool. That Jerry or my man, Mr. Pat's barber. I missed him this past week because I was away, and so I'm looking a little bit rough. But Pat,
I need you to chill, my man. I don't have hair. I need you
that's
to
all good.
Be glad with what you have. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to cut it off and throw it in the trash. Some of us don't have.
It's a trade. It's a vocation. It's a career. And Pat probably, low key might mess around and make. All I know is this: Pat keeps the fly, the fly Escalade, the fly Lexus, the F-150, the Volvo. Goes on 2-3 vacations, every other month or so. He's always gone somewhere, and I know Pat is clocking, at least in the six figures, right? He didn't go to college, and to talk to Pat, he's still a smart and intelligent person. Going to college doesn't make you smart. Most people, going to Harvard doesn't make you smart. Those kids were smart when they got to Harvard. They made Harvard smart. You had to have straight A's, basically, for the most part, to get to Harvard. They were already smart kids. So there ain't nothing special necessarily about going to college unless you go to Norfolk State University, behold the green and gold. But Pat couldn't do what he does if he didn't learn and be educated in his craft. Mr. Jerry, the plumber dude, he has to be educated in that. The electrician person, there are people out here who cut grass for a living. And they be like, anybody can cut grass. No, it ain't that simple. You can cut grass and you're going to get what people get when you cut grass. You're going to get the minimum. But if you want to take that to the next level, you're going to learn how to use the right chemicals. You're going to learn how to design somebody's yard or whatever. And as a result of what Linda did for us in camp counseling, in running the rec center, she gave us a place to be when we could have been out maybe selling dope or getting into somebody's in trouble somewhere. Linda was always the person who you could talk to. Linda pull she pulled your collar on something. Like she saw you do something wrong. You didn't want Linda to know, but she knew. She didn't hold that over like, yo, you trash from here on out, and we ain't speaking to you. Linda loved you, so I appreciate.
So here's my question then, Maynard. Mm-hmm. So if I'm 17 years old in 2021, mm-hmm. I'm listening to the City Girls, and I'm listening to Trina and Doja Cat, and I'm trying to get my money up because I like this little girl, and she wants a baby Birkin, and she wants to have crab legs. As a kid, I'm not a fan of crab legs anyway, but, got to take her to crab legs. And, I heard a 16-year-old talking about she got to go to Ocean Prime. And I'm saying to myself, shit, I didn't get to Ocean Prime. I was about 35. You know what I'm saying? So my question is, what does a young person do today? You know what I mean? With all of the visuals of, I got to get this money. You know what I mean? Is the Mr. Earl vocation or Jerry vocation, is that dead? I mean, does it die with those guys? Do the young people pick it up? How does that work?
I'm hoping that young people do pick it up. I was with my cousin Tony, who's a plumber, in fact. The downside, unfortunately for him, is he's had some back problems, so he can't work as much as he wants. And so I was always hoping that he would have migrated his business to being a boss more than the worker. But there are a lot of influences to go to the next level with your city girls or your dope selling or whatever. And I know that, you know, that's a lot of influence. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. But I think we see it on TV. We see it on the TikToks. We see it in the music videos. But I don't think most people really, you know, I don't think that's as big as we think it is. I think we just see it on TV. How many people did you, when you walk down the street, really are living that life?
You mean they really have a Birkin?
Yeah, oh yeah. How many people really have a Birkin? They only make a handful of Birkins a year.
And I always laugh at that because my wife really could afford that, but she's not gonna put all that kind of cash in a bag like that. You know what I mean? So I just laugh at that. But I've seen some young people who are caught up in influence of, you know, having a $70,000 to $100,000 car, but sleeping on the floor, man. They're out here, and they might not be the majority.
They're out here.
Spud might argue with you and say that it is the majority, but there are a lot of Escalade driving, sleeping on a mattress with no bed frame, headboard kind of people out here.
I agree that there are. I agree there are a lot.
Because they're not getting a physical, Maynard. They're not going to the doctor. They're not going to the dentist. They don't have long-term care. They, you know, they're like.
No. Well, let's break down what the number might look like. So start with this. If I told you that more than 50% of black people were living in the middle class in the United States, would you believe that?
And middle class, what's the numbers? Isn't it 30 to 40 something?
So it's, you know, based on, you know, it's obviously based on family size. So let's just say, you know, between $30,000 and $125,000. I
would say yes.
The number, in fact, is 61.2% of black people are living in the middle class. And I don't.
And Kevin Samuelson told me that. Yes, so I believe him. Yes.
And so what I want to make sure that people understand is we talk a lot about the people who don't have the benefit package or don't go into the doctor, and that's not who we are.
Some of them 70,000 ain't going to the doc, my guy.
Oh, sure. I mean, there are people out here.
They're not going.
There are people out here. I'm not always 100% religious on getting certain things done, and I've been shy about going to the doctor. But my back hurt right now, so trust me, tomorrow.
I'm sitting there subliminally trying to tell you, my man, you need to go make an appointment tomorrow. You got that platinum card on insurance. Go to let them look at that shit, man.
But we are not. The bulk of Black America is not city girls, right? The bulk of Black America is not living the Meg Thee Stallion life or whatever. This is, as Dre said.
What's the bulk? Because there's a lot of, and we love Meg, and we don't want to talk bad about Meg, but there's somebody I know that said, Lamont, you know, Meg Thee Stallion is a one-trick pony, and I'm so sick of her and that disgusting-looking Lizzo always bending over, busting it open, and I said it. Disgusting. And if somebody's gonna say, well, Lamont, you said it because she's a pretty girl. No, even Meg to a point sometimes, you'd be like, you a pretty girl. You ain't gotta bust it open, baby. You done bust it open quite enough. Quiet as kept, you can put some clothes on now. You good. And that's just me, dog. Meg, if you look at her, she's a very pretty lady. She don't need to bust it open no more. Let's see what else you got. You are doing the one-trick pony move right now. Period.
I see my man Wadsworth is showing up. Peace to you, my dude. I see you definitely showing up on the app here. We welcome you this evening. We also want to just recognize a couple of other folks. Emmanuel is on. Like I said, Tiffany Harris is on. My man, shucks. There's a whole bunch. If I missed you, and I know I've missed some of you, it's not for not knowing. But so Tiffany says, busting it open is what sells. And my question is this. If busting it open didn't sell.
Tiffany.
Hold on. Now listen, Tiffany. You got smoke for your girl. You got smoke right now for Lizzo and Meg. But somebody who is pretty, successful, in fact, on top of the R&B, scratch R&B, on top of pop music, busts it open. Yeah, she busts it open every time.
Whoa. It's a different kind of bust.
No, it's not. She should stop.
It's a different kind of. And again, I'm with you. She's a mother. She's a wife. But B ain't on them streets like she used to be now. Be clear. You can tell the maturity that's going on. Because now, when you talk about when the world opens up for real in a year or two, and she does start doing arenas again, I know what you're saying. Because there was a time I kept saying, B, I need you to get up off the floor. You're doing too much humping and bumping. Come on now. I'm just saying we got to graduate, bro.
I agree. And here's the thing. I thought that B should have graduated from Busting It Open 10, 15 years ago. She's
not Meg Thee Stallion busted open. I mean, did you see the new video?
But she was busting it open back then.
Yeah, but she's not like Meg. Let's be clear. It's a different kind of. I mean, there's a difference between Larry Flint and Chocolate City. Nah, that doesn't work. No, it's different. It's different. Is it different because I'm trying to figure out why it could be different. It's different. I mean, again, and this is I guess it could be shade, but it's almost like Beyonce busting it and Meg is different. It's like.
Is it different because some checks come from Parkwood?
I mean, yeah, that too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that too, but it's just, I mean, it's still Beyonce, bro. It's almost like we're having a conversation too about I'm still not happy we haven't welcomed Justin back in, right? Like, I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan, right? And the argument is that Janet knew, oh no, Justin ain't nothing to play with. Justin is Elvis Presley. Justin's Memphis, Around the Brothers, Stole from the Brothers. That's the Elvis play. You know what I'm saying? So I rock with Justin. He heavy. But like with Janet, you know what I mean? Like, Janet, you knew the nipple was coming. Stop.
Who's the greatest of all time of all music? What's the greatest of all time to you of all music?
You can't do that to me, man.
Just give me a name. I'm not. No matter what you say, I'm not arguing it.
We actually had the conversation of the Prince and Michael, and I hate to say this. Musically, Michael's better than Prince.
Okay.
Structure-wise, songwriting, vocal, and be clear, Prince is on his heels, on his neck. But if you listen to Michael's music, I mean, really listen to his songs, that man was he was from a different planet, a different stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I might have to go with Mike.
I asked that because I have a friend who every week tries to pitch me this idea that the Beatles are amazingly great. And I argue that the Beatles are great because white people said so, but I never really felt like, I mean, and I've heard like the one album that's, oh my God, the Beatles just, what's the album called? Sgt. Pepper's. Sgt. Pepper's. Sgt. Pepper's album. And it is good. And Abbey Road's good. The White Album is good. But if it was something that I couldn't have downloaded off of Napster a handful of years ago, I wouldn't have them. I wouldn't go and buy them.
But the beauty of the Beatles is that, you know, and if you go back and do the history, they credit us in inspiring them to do what it is that they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's no secret. And actually, I was watching this the other day because one of the Aretha album that she made in '74, the live joint, right? Mm-hmm. The church joint is crazy. And just listening to the way that Aretha and even James Cleveland and just the way they're able to bend and just twist words and sounds, it was just astronomical. But if you look in the audience, one of them Beatles was right there in the back of that church. And I sat there and laughed because that was always the story of Elvis Presley. That was always the story of the Beatles, of the Rolling Stones, is that those guys would study what it is that we do because we are the creators of culture.
We are. This is true.
That's true. That's a fact.
This is true.
You know, I'm kind of not mad at the Beatles conversation, but we got to understand that they didn't just wake up and catch that. You know what I mean?
Right. But let me, because the other part of the conversation he was having was that, like, so the Beatles and Shakespeare are core to America's DNA. And I first argued with him, like, first of all, they're not even American. And then two, Shakespeare. Like, why is this great? Like, boy meets girl, they fall in love, their parents don't want them together. What's so great about Romeo and Juliet? Oh, it's the greatest love story. No, they told us that it was. They never told us about anything else. What black authors did your school, between kindergarten and 12th grade, did your school say, you should read this black author? That is like, we're not just you should read it, we're assigning it.
Well, see, you sound like the angry instructor, and I'm saying you're wrong, because I was just talking to a very famous radio person about an hour ago. We were talking about Tulsa, and he admitted, I mean, this guy's like 50. He said, Lamont, I didn't know about that till about 10 years ago.
Right.
You know, they're so, again, like I said to you before in the chat with you and Spud, I'm angry that, you know, I'm just, even at 50 plus, I'm just now learning that there were many, many, many Tulsas. You know what I'm saying? I'm angry, not angry, but I'm understanding now what what they're really saying by saying that we're not going to teach critical race theory.
We got to get somebody on to come in and break down critical race theory for us.
Well, what it sounds like to me, and I could be wrong, is that, you know, there's a thing called Black history they not really want to get into.
Right.
And as Santos, is it Santos? Is Florida?
DeSantis.
Santos is something else. He was like, you know, he didn't want to upset the children of Florida. What, huh? So the game is rigged. We've talked about this for 4 years now. We understand it. We get it. I'm still trying to process me pledging allegiance to the flag. What does that mean? I still don't understand. I keep asking you, Maynard, you won't break it down to me. So the deprogramming continues. And I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? We all come from music, radio, so we know what programming is. We just got to continue the deprogramming process. Just the learning and taking in of information. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
And so, because, you know, I remember in 7th grade, they were like, okay, you're going to read Count of Monte Cristo by Shakespeare. And then I think we also had The Merchant of Venice. Then, like, by the time I got to 12th grade, it was, you know, we had obviously Count of Monte Cristo, Merchant of Venice, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and Macbeth, where I think, and Taming the Shrew, were the ones that were like crammed out. But when I was, my grandfather and my grandmother and my mother were saying, you're going to read Baldwin, you're going to read Hurston, you're going to read Margaret Walker, not Alice, but Margaret Walker. You're going to read Langston Hughes. You're going to read Richard Wright. These, to me, not that they were necessarily about black, but they were more to me. Now, obviously, Shakespeare has a language issue, right? How that, this, whatever the case may be. That kind of can get in the way of it. But like at the end of the day, these stories are stories that, you know, almost all of them you can't relate to anyway. Not Merchant of Venice. Let me take that one away. Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth. It's all about kings. That shit don't mean nothing to me.
Well, as I just saw this yesterday, there's another, shot at you, and I'm with you. The story came on 60 Minutes about there was a town in I think it was Alabama that they called African Town, where
yes,
it talked about the last slave ship that was smuggled into the U.S. Because what I did know, and I guess it's the part that I never picked up, was although allegedly slavery was abolished in 1865. But I forgot how the story read. It was a certain time before that slavery, that no new slaves could be imported into the U.S., but slavery wasn't abolished.
Right.
That's about right?
Right. The importation of slavery had ceased.
Yes.
But if you had
the slavery game was still going.
Right. You can't go and buy tomatoes, but if you got tomato seeds,
yes, you good.
You grow all the tomatoes you want.
Right. So again, having all of those conversations and learning about those intricate things, and even slaves continuously being smuggled into the country after it was considered illegal, to me, that's important. So again, I'm with you. With the Macbeth and all the other things, those are great. But you're right, we didn't get the other part of the story. So, when I asked my niece, we were talking about a year ago about her courses in school, and she was talking about one of her courses was Greek mythology. And I said, "Do you know what mythology is?" She said, Uncle Lamont, what is it? I said, "It's a lie. It's made up. It doesn't exist." And I always wondered, why did they teach that? Because I remember having a Greek mythology class. Why is that, Maynard?
I did not have I had a class where Greek mythology was discussed, but I didn't have a Greek mythology class.
This is a well-to-do school she's at, bro. A class on that? But
we've done a lot of jumping around, and
I know
we getting close to our end here, 7:56. I do want to, if we can, illuminate an important date.
Wait a minute. Can you spell that for me so I can look that up really quickly?
How about I just say highlight?
Okay, I can catch that. All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got that.
We're going to discuss Juneteenth, in fact, real quickly, which is getting more recognition. For instance, it's becoming in many places a holiday. A lot of places are starting to recognize Juneteenth as an important day. It was June 19th, 1865, which was, well after the order of emancipation, of the Emancipation Proclamation, where the slaves were working in Texas and learned of freedom later than the rest of the people, the rest of the country. So we typically celebrate Juneteenth on June 19th. The city of Chesapeake and I think Norfolk and I think in fact the state of Virginia is making arrangements for June 18th, which is a Friday, or for it to be a holiday. So that's big shout out to them. But I think what I want to get to is I want you to tell people, to encourage them to teach their own children and their own family members about Juneteenth, or at least mention it so that people can Google it or look it up somehow.
So can I tell you my Juneteenth story? And I'm so ashamed, and I'll make it short.
Please do.
I never knew what Juneteenth was until, you remember that song Donnell Jones put out, ooh, say what, say what, say what? Remember that?
Yeah.
Whatever year that was. I don't know whatever year it was. I remember I had to take Donnell. We had to go to Whammo in Pittsburgh. And they had a Juneteenth celebration. I had no idea. When I saw the schedule, I was like, what is this? And I'll never forget, that was the first time I met this young lady named Lana Dawkins, who was the promotions director of that station. And she sat me down and broke down what Juneteenth was. Now, I tell you that story because Maynard, again, that was, I don't know, 15, 20, I don't want to say 25 years ago. Maybe, I don't know how many.
Might be close.
Well, again, all I'm saying is I went through a whole lot of quote unquote education and I had no idea what that was, Maynard. I just didn't. I didn't know. I never heard of it.
Now, well, again.
No, I was going to say, so I think, I guess I'm to the point now is however you get it, whether it's by happenstance, whether it's encouragement by Maynard or Lamont or somebody else, or sit on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker or on your timeline, I do think there's another one of those things about, understanding the history and what it's about. So again, I'm glad, and you're right. I am seeing it more because what's funny? On my on my calendar, it's one of the list of holidays that kind of comes up where 20 years ago it might have came up. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
At least it's even. And I told my wife that. I said it's funny because I was like, oh, Juneteenth is then. She's like, how you know that date? And I was like, oh, it's on the calendar. It just popped up. So I think there's a concerted effort. There's a wave, that's kind of getting that energy out there to, for people to understand what that history is about. You know what I mean? So, again, I think you're right. Again, with a lot of other issues and things in our history, we need to know what it is. So, we definitely, encourage you to use that Google machine that
and to get the real origins of the holiday. Because Maynard, you could probably get a little bit more in depth than what I might know or what I was told. But again, just like 1619, I was not really in tune with that date maybe 2-3 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I don't want to, because it's 8 o'clock. And
we gotta get out of here.
We're gonna get out of here. But that will, because Juneteenth is actually the 19th, which is this Saturday coming, and we'll be on Monday. Maybe we can do a little dive in. You can tell us about the tomahawks that you bought and put on the grill, whatever.
Tomahawks were on sale the other day, $13.99 a pound, baby. You know I stocked up. Real talk.
But we want to thank y'all for listening. We hope that hopefully we can encourage you all to go and do some of the research we discussed. Look up some black authors, look up some black musicians that are important to the culture, and then learn something about Juneteenth. I hope that works out. We want to let you know that we intend to all be back next week for the next episode of Three Black Guys with Mike. Spud was, I know there were some questions. Where was Spud? Spud is in Vegas. He's been flying private around the country for the past handful of days, and he's, he was eating tonight. He was out eating, but
was it lobster or crab legs?
I saw him eating carrots, but best believe that he's going to be in one of the luxury suites where they keep the whales at when they come into Vegas, and they gamble at the baccarat tables or whatever. Tiffany said Happy Father's Day. That's right, we got Father's Day. Salute to all the fathers out there. Salute to the big brothers. Salute to the uncles. Salute to the fathers who ain't even doing it right yet. Listen, now is the time to get it right. Let's, if you got work to do with your children, if you got work to do with your nieces and nephews, you got work to do for your mother and your father, let's do it right. Let's get it together this weekend. And happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth. And Lamont, any closing words for you?
Hey, man, Santa Claus isn't real. The Easter Bunny's fake. Y'all have a good night.
We'll do it again next week. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Peace.